Hi.
Hi.
Welcome and thank you for helping us tonight.
You're
Yes,
welcome. Hopefully I
thanks.
can answer some questions for you.
Great.
Okay.
I'll just make sure I've got all your information right. I've got the local council area, Swan Hill Local Council.
Yep, so Swan Hill
right.
Rural City Council.
Rural, yeah.
Rural, yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just put in it. And then the role, director, how would you describe your role? Is it a director?
So I have been acting director for community and cultural services for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But my regular role is the library services manager.
Okay. And how would you describe the director role?
So the director role looks after library services, the performing arts and venues, the art gallery, maternal child health services, youth services, children's services, and what else have we got? Customer service. So it covers
That's
a
a lot.
broad area of council services, mainly the customer facing services across council.
Customer facing. Okay. Great. Thank you. And I'll just start with the another question. So I think you already got some of the questions emailed to you, but identify the services, programs, initiatives council currently have in place to support engagement and participation in physical activity for people with a disability.
So council doesn't really have any thing in place to support physical activities as such, like certainly not services or programs, not across council. We, especially with physical activity, however, the basketball stadium in Swan Hill, which is owned by council but managed by an external company, does run or has been running sports programs for people with disabilities. And they have been sort of doing different sports activities. So it's been giving people opportunities to actually try different sports. And they are going to rerun that program again shortly, is my understanding. It's not particularly an area that council sees themselves responsible for as such. Apart from with some of the new designs of the playgrounds and things like that, they've certainly built in some facilities like the Barry Steggall Park, which is out at Tower Hill near one of the newer areas of Swan Hill, that actually has a wheelchair-friendly playground. So that was incorporated into the design of that park. So they're looking at, as we're developing things are being built in to enable people to do more activities. Like even along the path along the Murray River, it's a sealed path most of the way. So if people wanted to actually access it in a wheelchair or scooter or something like that, they can actually get outdoors and do things like that as well.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. The next question is, list the local disability user groups in your council area.
So when you're talking about user groups, are you talking about the groups that provide services, or are you after groups like we've got one group like Echuca Discoveries is a service provider, but then they do also bring their clients to a lot of activities. So they often come to a Harmony Day event because they have small mini buses. They bring them into the library as a group. Are those is it the groups themselves, like the individual groups, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So there is a Parkinson's group that uses the library, but most of the user groups I would think are through service providers. So the service providers actually I suppose because we're remote from a lot of places as well. So people are actually relying on the service providers in our community to take them out to things rather than it being an individual user group.
Right.
Okay, yeah, thank you. The next one is describe how local council works with local disability user groups and community organizations to enhance services for people with a disability.
It's quite ad hoc the way that we do it at the moment. A few years ago, there was actually funding for a position, and council employed that person through the funding, and that person liaised with the community and supported programs to be delivered. But that funding ceased, so there's no real way that we do it now, apart from receiving feedback ad hoc from people with lived experience. So, for example, the all access toilet at our Town Hall and Performing Arts Centre had the entrance. You had to sort of walk through the entrance. It also went to the men's toilets. The people that used the all access toilet made some suggestions, and council has since then actually changed the entrance to the all access toilet and also modified the all access toilet so that it's actually more suitable for use. So a lot of the way that we do things at the moment is by feedback from people. There is also community consultation. So if there's a new project like the riverfront plains, there's a lot of community engagement. So we ask for people's input into those plans so that elements can be incorporated into those plans in the future as future development is happening as well. We've also had it where the art gallery was approached to hold an exhibition by people from, I think it actually was Echuca Discoveries, because they do a lot of things within our community. And so the art gallery put Echuca Discoveries in contact with us, and the library actually hosted an art exhibition for people of varying abilities. So that's probably the main way that we do it. It's sort of more, there's nothing official. It's more sort of just flows along as things are required.
Yep, thank you. That's good.
And I suppose one other way too is that council does have a Let's Talk portal on its website as well. So when we're doing community consultation, people can also submit things online, so they don't have to actually get to a physical location to be able to provide their feedback as well.
Can you outline the community priorities that have been identified for people with a disability accessing physical activity?
Not specific. Well, actually, yes. I suppose the wheelchair playground at Stegall Park is a good example of that, because that actually enables younger people to get out and to enjoy the playground. I do know that, and even with toilets, and I suppose toilets are actually an important part, because if people can't access toilets when they're doing physical activity, that does hinder people as well. So the fact that we actually have a toilet plan, I think it's called, I'm trying to think what it's called now, probably public amenities or something like that plan. But in that, they are also looking at improving public toilet facilities as well along the way. Also, as they're doing up gutters and footpaths and things, they're also ensuring that those are made more accessible for people as well, in particular scooters, wheelchairs, people with mobility issues. So that would then enable people to have better access to spaces where they can do physical activity.
Awesome. Can you also please identify the community structures and resources available in your local council for people with a disability?
There is not really a structure anymore, for the fact that we don't have someone that specifically works with disability. But people can approach the council. The library certainly does a lot for people. We run a lot of programs and we try to make the programs in the library accessible. We do things like we've tried running a sensitive story time, which is for people, especially for children that don't like crowds or lots of noise. So we do things like that based on feedback from the community. So a lot of the information is more about the feedback. There's no real structure within our council at the moment. And it's something that I've actually been thinking about. So when I saw this come up, it's like, oh, maybe this is an opportunity to to push a little bit further within council to say we need to think about it. Because I know that it's thought of in an ad hoc way. And certainly the performing arts are, so we actually have had some programs run through our performing arts program by the partner of our performing arts manager. She actually works with groups with disability, so she's been doing theatre with several groups around town. So again, that's another physical activity in some ways, depending on how physical the theatre performances get. But sometimes it's more about our connections in the community and who we're talking with, and the partnerships that we've been building up with organisations like RABLE, My Plan Connect, Echuca Discoveries, and some of the other NDIS organisations in the community. So a lot of it's been done more as we're sort of having conversations with people and saying, okay, let's actually go out and find something that we can do to meet these needs.
That's exciting because I do a lot of theater, so I find that aspect of including theater is quite interesting.
It's been really successful and really fantastic to see some of these people just blossom when they've been there performing.
Absolutely.
And in fact, some of the groups, sorry, I'm excited about that because Echuca Discoveries do a lot and they do bring groups into the library. But I'm also on the committee for our Harmony Day event, our annual Harmony Day event. And we actually have a group from Echuca Discoveries perform. They've been performing at our event for probably 10 or so years now. And again, we have a couple of thousand people turn up to that event. So from my perspective, it's fantastic that we have all these people seeing people from different abilities getting up on the stage and singing and dancing and doing theatre. Yeah, it's a really great way to promote it.
Yeah. The next question is, can you establish whether a new leisure-based or health-based program that caters specifically for people with disabilities is a priority for the local council?
No, it's not, because council doesn't see it as one of their core functions. They certainly would be happy to support things and partner with organisations, but it's not something that council does as such. And I suppose it's also because we do have quite a lot of NDIS service providers across our community as well. So I think they feel that the service providers are probably more responsible for delivering those types of things than council.
Right. So, what would be some of the issues the local council might encounter when planning and implementing new community-based programs for people with disabilities when you do have these programs?
Funding is a major issue.
Absolutely.
It's a huge issue. Having qualified staff or trained staff. When we were lucky when we did the training for the sensitive story time, that there was online training available. But for other things, sometimes it's really difficult because, we're so remote from places. Sorry. Got a frog in the throat. I apologise for that. It's very difficult to, and I suppose even funding to be able to have staff trained as well is a challenge. The fact that we are so remote does also sometimes provide issues with actually having services come up to our area or to be able to provide things to our area as well. So, but I would say that funding is certainly the biggest challenge for us, and grants. A lot of the things that we do deliver are through grants. We rely on grants to deliver a lot of extra programs. So.
Right. I think that pretty much sums up all the questions we have for you, Camille. Thank you for your honesty and your passion that you brought to this question answer session, as short as it was. And thank you very much for your time and for answering all our questions and helping us with our assignment.
You're welcome. Good luck to you all with it as
Thank
well.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Camille.
you, Camille.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.